Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to be going over tips that I can give you for a first-time photographer shooting at the beach. So if you don't know, most of my shoots are done in studio or in the downtown area of Philadelphia. So when a couple of modeling friends of mine wanted to do something at the beach, I was a bit out of my element. That said, I'm gonna go over a few tips that I can give you if it's your first time shooting at the beach or sand, lake, something with water. First tip I can give is check the weather. We checked the weather a week out and a day out. And even though it didn't go according to plan, we did know that it was supposed to be a little bit overcast with sun in the afternoon, which was going to play right into our mood board. So if you're going for a moodier look or an overcast look or something that's bright sun, you need to know what you're looking for before heading out. So like I said, it didn't pan out quite the way I wanted it, and we got a lot of rain. So tip number 2 I can give you is to get an water housing of some sort. Now, I'm not sponsored, as you can tell by the subscription number I have down below, but I did get this dye pack as others had recommended on Amazon, but most of them were doing pool shoots and things like that with it. I saw one video where they were shooting in the ocean, but they were shooting video, so I was like unsure of how this was going to work with photos, but you know, this same rules kind of apply. Basically, your camera goes in the pack. It can fit up to I believe a 24 to 70, but I used a 90mm macro in the front, and it's got a glass element, so you're shooting out the glass. All right. When we rolled up, it was overcast, looked like it was about to rain. I threw my camera in this immediately, and it started pouring down. It rained for 2 hours straight. The wind was howling. The waves were huge. So if I did not have this, I would have lost my camera body. So get something like this if you don't want to spend a lot of money on a nice camera housing. This is something I can recommend. Third thing I can recommend is scouting your location. So I used Google Maps. I'd also been to this beach before. I knew where people were and where they weren't, what the regulations were for shooting what we wanted to shoot. So we moved down the beach a little bit a ways from where the swimming area was to be away from the crowds, from people, you know, oohing and ahhing at the models, closer to where fishing was. So in between those two areas was a nice spot, not too many people. We were able to get some nice shots. If you don't have the ability to go to the beach before, you can call most, you know, if it's like a state park or a beach that is public, there might be people you can call and give them a heads up like, hey, I'm coming down, where would be a good place to go. Google Maps is a good way to look at things as well, to map out like shoreline, parking, things like that. So we knew where parking was, we knew how much it would cost, so when people were meeting us there, we knew exactly where to go. Fourth tip is composition. Using your composition that you use in studio or on the street is a little bit different when you're in the ocean, or you know, you have a dune that's way up here and your model's down here just due to erosion. So just making sure your, you know, horizon line is where you want it. We dug out some of the sand so I could lay flat to shoot some of these shots, moving down the beach or up the beach in order to get a composition that worked out. Making sure that your shots are level is also great. If you go and post and your horizon lines like this, you're going to notice because it's the ocean. Last is you can't really baby your equipment, so expect sand everywhere. I mean everywhere. I'm back at the studio. I have sand in my, like not in my camera, but I have sand on the dials. I have sand on my gimbal, in the bags, on my stool. It's everywhere. So just have a good cleaning kit to clean your stuff when you're done. You will have sand, there will be grit. It's just like you have to work your camera gear to get rid of it. If you're worried about like this is your most precious gear, most precious lens, this, that, or the other, you know, the beach might not be for you. Like I said, something like that dye pack that I showed you is fantastic to protect your stuff, but there are some cons with that as well. So the cons with the dye pack, can't speak to any other product, but the dye pack itself, is if there's rain and humidity like we had, you get a haze on that front element. So some of your photos do come out, or some of my photos anyway, did come out hazy, and I just leaned into that in my editing, because what else am I gonna do? They did come out awesome. I'm showing some of the photos in B-roll as I'm talking, just so I'm hoping you can kind of see a little bit of the difference versus the ones out of the pack versus in the pack. Trying to see your EVF is difficult as well, so set a custom button if you're a Sony user to toggle between the back LCD and the EVF. That's the best advice I can give, because as soon as the dye pack's close to it, it's going to default to the EVF. I hope that this was helpful. It might seem cut and dry, but when I was going out there, my first time doing this, this was stuff I was asking my friends about. I was Googling, watching YouTube videos myself to get the answers. So hopefully this is all in one place. You know, you have the housing for your camera, you know, what settings you kind of need, you know, with your faster shutter speed, and things to watch out for before showing up to make your shoot successful. So I thank you for watching. Please subscribe, hit that like button, and have a good one.